More problems for Wells Fargo, more problems for real estate. Hey everybody, Scott Walters. Buckle up, strap in. I got a hard-hitting pull, no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows or sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage. Today, it would appear Wells Fargo, the biggest bank in the world, is at risk of failing, friends. And back in 2008, what happened? The banks failed. They are nervous right now. They are nervous. I've reported from the beginning of this bubble, a lot of these banks didn't have their feet up in their conference rooms acting like this would last forever. And here's the challenge with these big banks, B of A, Wells, you name it, any city, all the biggest banks, Chase, they compete with each other and they're always trying to get an edge on each other, even if they maybe have to bend the rules a little bit. We're going to dive into an article today to drive our point home of exactly that. And I know a lot of you have heard, and congratulations for staying sharp right now. I always say iron will sharpen iron. Stay centered and surrounded with like-minded people. If you're new, please subscribe right away. Get in front of this one because it's going to be a lot less blindsiding, a deer in the headlights as this thing plays out. You'll be able to operate within it more efficiently because you halfway expected. A lot of people are going to profit in this downturn, but most people are just going to be blindsided, paralyzed with fear, and in big trouble just in general. They went all in this economic stimulus Kool-Aid drinking era. And now they're getting bamboozled. They're running on fumes. It is a big, big house of cards right now, and those cards are starting to fall. So today we're going to read just a little bit of an article on what's going on with one of the biggest banks in the world, Wells Fargo. Then we're going to meet back here to wrap it up. Let's get started. ABC News reports Wells Fargo to pay $3.7 billion over consumer loan violations. Consumer banking giant Wells Fargo is ordered to pay $3.7 billion in fines and refunds to customers by U.S. government regulators, the largest fine to date against the bank, which has spent years trying to rehabilitate itself after a series of scandals tied to its sales practices. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau on Tuesday ordered Wells to pay $2 billion to consumers and enacted a $1.7 billion penalty against the bank. The Bureau spelled out a laundry list of consumer financial law violations, from illegal fees and interest on auto loans and mortgages, as well as incorrectly applied overdraft fees against savings and checking accounts. The bank remains under a Federal Reserve order forbidding it from growing any larger until the Fed deems that its corporate culture problems are resolved. Let's get back to the studio so we can wrap this one up. All right, friends, welcome back. So there you go. Wells Fargo not looking all rainbows and sunshine. They clearly have a big issue in front of them. That is billions of dollars. Can you imagine being fined billions of dollars? How do you recover from that? And here's the challenge, friends. Here is the challenge. When you see the biggest bank in the world suspend writing mortgages, mortgage origination, it's because the housing market stalled. It didn't even stall. It stalled, but now it's reverse course. Now it's in a free fall, for lack of a better choice of words. We can just even go with, if you don't want to admit that it's in a free fall, it's in a downturn. It's reverse course. And while every single real estate market is going to behave differently, some are going to get hit harder, quicker, faster, a race to the bottom will occur. A lot of the areas that had huge appreciation that really didn't support it with wages, earnings, anything. There was nothing to support those run-ups in real estate. They're in massive trouble, friends. And here's the challenge with today's bubble: contagion. Contagion's a much bigger component. Good news travels fast. Bad news will, in fact, travel faster. And once mainstream media gets a hold of narratives, they're not like this channel where maybe they try to provide some solutions, raise awareness. No, if it bleeds, it leads, push it out there. We don't care how many people it hurts. And the realities are people will get swept up into fear and panic. And it's very hard to operate efficiently when you're full of fear and panic. That's why I always like to take a lot of power out of these issues by talking about them in a way, hopefully, that just makes enough sense to grab some attention, to ring the bell, sound the alarm, raise awareness, read between the lines, look between the cracks, let people know the biggest bubble ever produced in world history cannot sustain itself. The reverse course has happened. So the big banks, friends, this is what I really wanted to talk about today. The big banks like Wells Fargo, when you see these warning signs like the article we read, the fact that they just suspended all their mortgages, writing of new mortgages, all kinds of employees are just being thrown overboard. And those employees, I feel bad for them because right now it's not like they're good to go. They're at home, maybe applying for unemployment benefits. Maybe trying to get their resume and see if they can find another job that will pay them the salary they were making at Wells Fargo. But those jobs aren't out there anymore. The government said they want to increase our job claims, our unemployment numbers. It's not good. The only thing left for these white-collar workers right now are service sector, blue-collar wage earning jobs. And we're just scratching the surface. I've reported on so many companies doing the exact same thing. We see what's going on out there. But the realities are this, friends. Don't think this is just a Wells Fargo problem. This is all, I believe, Bank of America, Citi, Chase, all the big banks. They're going through and they're doing a lot of the same type of loan behavior and pushing the envelope, blurring that line to do whatever they can to compete with each other. So just like we had our Lehman moment in 2008 that crashed the financial markets and the banking institution, it's knocking on the door again. We took a look today at some symptoms of exactly that. But like I said, most people are just completely unaware. It's out there, whatever. I'm just trying to get gas for the car, trying to keep up with these food prices. That's the conversations I have typically. When I go out and do my thing out and about and I just strike up conversation, I'm a pretty social guy by nature as a salesman. Of course, I can't be all Mr. Butterfly, Mr. Social Butterfly all the time. We all have our moments, but most of the time, I'm that guy in the store that'll strike up a conversation with you. And you hear that a lot from people as you just talk to them in everyday life. Food prices are crazy. Seen the gas prices lately? They're not talking about these deep economic circumstances that are swirling, or they don't know. For me, I just work in the biggest asset class in the world, the most euphoric Southern California market. But not only that, I love real estate. I made my fortune in real estate. It's where a lot of fortunes will be made. But unfortunately, most people are going to be in cleanup aisle 5, trying to recover from this thing, not prepared to go out there and buy in it. In final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator. Somebody wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understanding when you see Wells Fargo going through the pain that they're going through now, this is not an isolated incident. The other banks have the same issues. They just haven't been exposed to the levels that Wells Fargo. We don't need them all to fall at once. If one falls, the rest potentially will follow. But the biggest symptom, if we're to get any takeaway from what we talked about today, I think all circles back to real estate. If and when we lose the real estate market, we will lose everything. We'll be thrusted into a big, fat, ugly recession. That's how big that housing market is. So when you have a symptom of the bubble, a warning sign, the blowback, where Wells Fargo has to start. It's not like they wanted to. I think we'll stop writing. Look, they had to. Because the markets have completely changed. So this is another warning sign that people should heed to understand the waters we're swimming in now. Now it's no longer of if this was a real estate bubble. It clearly was. It's no longer if it's correcting. It clearly is. It now becomes at what level. And when you see a warning sign like this, it tells you that you're headed for a recession, my friends. And like I said, always said, correction, recession, depression. Those are the 3 levels of an economic downturn. If it doesn't stop at a recession, it will enter an economic depression. And while I don't want that to happen, I'm certainly not going to rule it out. We have a lot of pain to get through. I believe this is going to be a big year for us in terms of the markets, financial health of our economy, and potentially seeing who was prepared and who wasn't. I'm going to continue to prepare as many people as possible because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation. Ready to assist you. It'd be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, I think you're really going to love the next video on your screen. And there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. I'll see you on the next video.